Ever since I started doing these videos on what happened to different YouTubers, possibly the most requested person to cover is the Annoying Orange channel, which might just be the most iconic YouTube character of all time. Nowadays, while the channel's not necessarily dead, in fact it's still pulling in really good numbers, the fact is the Annoying Orange has completely disappeared from popular culture and the minds of most on YouTube. So let's learn a bit about this project and how it has changed over the years. Let's begin with the character's creator, Dane Bowe, a man who's been on YouTube for a very long time. Even in the early days, Dane had a lot of talent for making videos with cool effects, a skill that wasn't seen very often in the YouTube community at the time. He had this ongoing format of compositing eyes and a mouth onto inanimate objects. This technique first started with his short film about eggs freaking out over getting eaten and expanded from there. Since there was nothing else like it online, these videos made him one of the biggest creators on all of YouTube. Dane would truly strike gold though in 2009 with the invention of the Annoying Orange in a short 90-second film, where he's an orange that's, well, annoying. This short video was executed perfectly, from the character design to the structure, and of course a wonderful punchline at the end. Because of this, it went viral, now having over 200 million views. Because it was doing so well, the Annoying Orange became a staple of the channel, with it outshining any other series he had on there. So in 2010, he made the smart decision to transfer over the Annoying Orange and all of his produce pals to a secondary channel. Eventually, this new channel started to outshine the original, and Dane Bowe had abandoned his original account, with no uploads of any kind on it for over a year. It's crazy to think that this used to be one of the biggest channels on all of YouTube in the early days. So how on earth was he able to make a channel with weekly uploads based around a 90-second skit that started on his main account? Well, it came down to adding a lot of new characters to the show, so there's a lot of different dynamics between them that they could work off of. This project actually worked really well, with the channel growing almost instantaneously after being created. And it did so well that Cartoon Network offered Dane and his team the opportunity to make a full-fledged TV show based upon the Annoying Orange brand. The high fructose adventures of the Annoying Orange occurred in the height of giving YouTubers money for non-YouTube related projects. And while I usually give these corporations a hard time about this since it always backfires and fails miserably, I can't give Cartoon Network too much of a tough time about this one in particular. For one, it lasted more than a single season, which can't be said for most of these other YouTube-related projects. Also, I imagine that this show was on the cheaper side to make because there's not much animation involved, which is usually what makes cartoons so expensive. Just like South Park, this show would not be able to rely on pretty animation, but rather strong and clever writing to make it a hit. So did this happen? Well, by most accounts, no. The biggest hurdle YouTubers face when making traditional TV shows is that they have no experience with that format. While you can be good at making short-form skits on the internet, you may have trouble forcing yourself to make content longer. On YouTube, if a video comes out to be 7 minutes, that's fine, but on TV, you need to stick with a format that includes time slots and commercial breaks. Stuff like this leads to some very big challenges when trying to make things work. The show came out in a time during a resurgence of quality cartoons, such as Adventure Time, Regular Show, and Gravity Falls, and it just wasn't even close to being on the same level quality-wise. I've only seen 2 episodes of the Annoying Orange TV show admittedly, but from what I've seen it just wasn't very enjoyable in any sense. It's not the worst thing ever, but it didn't excel in any regard either. With the cancellation of the Annoying Orange TV show after 2 seasons, I just assumed that the entire brand died off with it, since it wasn't being promoted on YouTube much anymore, whereas it once was being promoted non-stop. Because of this, I was in shock when I saw how lucrative the Annoying Orange still is to this very day. Well, yes, the channel has a very large amount of dead subscribers, they still make a lot of videos, and the channel brings in well over 60 million views a month. And that's just the main account. So the question I had to ask myself is, if the popularity of this channel had fallen so far that you never hear about it anymore, how on earth is it still getting such a high view count? Well, the answer to that question is that they've shifted over to marketing to toddlers and young children. I know it, I'm gonna get the comments right now saying that I'm an idiot because the Annoying Orange was always promoted to little kids. But that isn't necessarily the case. Well, yes, the show never had swearing in it or any extremely graphic content, that doesn't mean it was originally marketed towards only babies. Don't believe me? Well, let's just look at the original videos where each one ended with a piece of fruit getting murdered.
Hey, Apple! What? Knife? Huh? Ooh! Oh, I warned you! Ow! Well, that looks like it hurts.
Some of you still may be saying that's not that bad, and it's not like the Saw movies where people get tortured or anything.
I know that voice.
I was hoping you and I could play another game.
Yay! It's Emo Clown! Hey, are we gonna play Twister? That's my favorite game.
No, Orange. The name of this game is Death Trap.
Yep, in the early days they had Jigsaw in The Annoying Orange. But to be fair, they never pushed the envelope too far, but it's clear that back then they did have an older demographic that they were trying to market towards. But as time went on, things began to change. With the rise of the YouTube Kids app, The Annoying Orange was a perfect fit to draw in little kids. They already knew him from the Cartoon Network show, and the cast of characters were all bright and colorful. With the incredible views kids' channels bring in and the declining mainstream attention the series received, it appeared that they jumped fully onto the toddler market. Even if the channel jumps on a non-child-centric trend like the movie It, they tread very carefully. So in that trailer, they swapped out the creepy clown with the annoying orange as to make sure the video wouldn't scare any little kids that avidly watch the videos. So let's take a look at a video the annoying orange recently put out.
Do instead?
Sure, we can pick something else.
Great. What else did the fans suggest?
Melissa Dye dared me to make Pear naked and put ice cream in his eyes and butt.
Okay. Thanks, Melissa. I'll pass.
Janella said, I challenge you to make Pear go and poop from the toilet and fart in his face and hit him in the face and hit him in the butt.
What the heck? No, we're not doing that.
Well, that's fine. Suzanne dared me to flush Pear down the toilet and let Pear ride a poop and row down the toilet.
Okay, seriously, why does every challenge involve my butt or poop?
Now, speaking of poop, all of these fans want you to get pooped on. We could go with one of those.
No, we're not doing anything like that.
As you could tell from that little clip of this Q&A, there are a lot of little kids watching. If you go into the comments section right now on one of their videos, it's a ton of Minecraft and Roblox avatars asking for more Five Nights at Freddy's content, which they've already made dozens of, by the way. Another popular series they have are the emoji raps, where they have a kid in the audience that suggests a subject that they want the annoying orange to rap about in emoji form.
This week's emoji rap comes courtesy of Jenny Raptor.
Orange, rap about fidget spinners, please.
Oh yeah! Emoji rap, go!
I love this rap prompt cause fidget spinners are so cool. I'm going psycho with no spinner in school. Hi! Like I've had 3 cups of coffee feeling devilish. With Eureka, I know how to get me back to 100-ish. What?
Speaking of fidget spinners, how many videos do you think the annoying orange has made on them? 10. 10 whole videos. But to be fair, they're not all on the main Annoying Orange channel, since they have a lot of secondary accounts as well. The most popular of the secondary content is the gaming channel, which is a pretty smart move on their part. When making a main video, they have to spend time editing on the eyes and the mouth to the fruit. But with these Let's Plays, they don't actually have to show the characters, so all they need to do is have the voices.
Hey yo, it's Ethan back again with another gaming video. Back in Roblox once again, playing some more Project Minigames. Lots of games to play. What is this? Tsunami Survival. A tsunami is reported on the way. Get to high grounds and stay alive. I will survive. I'll stay alive. Okay.
Next, there's the Spanish and Portuguese versions of these channels that were abandoned years ago after only a few uploads. But I have no idea why. All the videos on these accounts received millions of views, and I did a quick search and couldn't find any apparent reason why they would have to quit. 3 months ago, the team took a full plunge into baby content with AO Kids, and it's what you'd expect from a baby channel. Lots of repetitious nursery rhymes that they hope will bring them some extra cash. And I'm honestly surprised they didn't do this sooner. Finally, you have the side accounts for the other popular characters from the show. These included Marshmallow, Lemon, Grapefruit, and Pear. All 4 of these accounts have been abandoned for quite some time, and I don't even know what the point of them was. Did they expect to build some fruit empire where every character had a spin-off show? On top of this, there's this other account that I'm not quite sure where it falls into the Annoying Orange universe, which is Liam the Leprechaun. Robert Jennings, who also does the voice of Grapefruit, does a leprechaun character that appears a lot in the videos. This leprechaun has his very own account and it's updated very frequently. Most of the videos are just Let's Plays, but he also has produced some other content as well.
More dangerous now. He's really in this room and eats leprechauns, especially ones with weird eyebrows. He'll follow you into the woods when you search for his 8 pages. You better run fast because he doesn't use leprechaun traps or cages.
The thing about this channel that really baffles me is that unlike the annoying orange that still brings in plenty of money, these leprechaun videos only get a couple hundred views apiece, so Robert can't possibly be doing it for the cash. This has led me to believe that he simply enjoys dressing up as a leprechaun. On top of this, Robert runs 3 other accounts, the first of which is Zombie George Washington, which is another character he plays, and it's just more Let's Plays for the most part. The third channel he runs is Game Gens, which you guessed it is just another gaming channel. And finally there's Bob Gens, which is just more Let's Plays. But to be fair on this one, he has some other content too to mix things up.
Ooh, look at what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look at what you made me do.
So why does this man have 4 Let's Play accounts? Well, I asked him on Twitter and he replied that it's simply trial and error. So I guess he enjoys making a lot of gaming content hoping that something will stick. And there you have a nice little rundown about the annoying orange universe on YouTube. Even after all these years, the characters are still moving forward through the YouTube landscape, while many others have not been so fortunate to last as long. Even though the show's focus has changed, making the switch over to a more toddler-friendly market was absolutely the way to go. If they stuck with trying to do parodies of Jigsaw, they probably wouldn't have been able to keep the lights on since that audience is gone. Instead, they've adapted to what works for them, and that should be respected. In conclusion, I want to ask the question, is it fair to say that the annoying orange is dead? Well, that depends on what you mean. On one hand, the channel still gets plenty of clicks and they've found a very lucrative little niche of viewers still enjoying their new videos. On the other hand though, this character has lost all mainstream relevance it once had. These videos used to have huge mainstream appeal with millions of people from different age groups watching them. Now though, you probably completely forgot about this character until you saw my thumbnail pop up. Hey everybody, and thank you so much for making it to the end of this video, it's really appreciated. As for the question of the day, somebody wants to know what irritates me on YouTube currently. Well, there are a lot of things that irritate me, but one recently I've noticed is people assuming that these What Happened To videos I make have some sort of malicious intent behind them. I want to make it very clear that I don't hate Tobuscus, Ray William Johnson, MatPat, Keemstar, any of the people that I make these What Happened To videos about. I don't have anything against any of them. I'm just discussing their channels and how they've changed over the years, and sometimes people get mad about that, but it really isn't supposed to be taken that way. I mean, what's the worst I've said about somebody? Probably in the Toby video I said that his vlogs were boring, and he kind of admits to that himself. He calls the channel Lazy Vlogs. So people call me a hater and all these other things because I make What Happened To videos about YouTubers, and I don't think it's justified. I'm just talking about them. That's what I've been doing on this channel for the past 3 years now at this point. Also, the other thing people have to realize is that saying that a YouTuber focuses on making content for children is not an insult. It's not an insult to say little kids watch your videos. That doesn't even make any sense. If I made a video and said Sesame Street is made for little kids, is that offensive? See, so that's what I don't get about the entire thing. I say the annoying orange has content that focuses more on children now. That is not offensive. I say the Five Nights at Freddy's videos that MatPat makes are enjoyed by children. How is that an insult towards the channel? People take that as if it's me going after the person directly, and that just doesn't make any sense. Again, let me give another example. If I say Mr. Rogers made content for little kids, is that an insult against Mr. Rogers? Is it? I don't even get that point of why making content for little kids is a bad thing. It isn't. I don't think it is. Little kids need content too. My channel is completely family friendly. I don't curse. I don't show anything super graphic in my videos. So I have little kids that watch them. Back when I made my Pokemon Theory videos years ago, I had a lot of kids watching that content. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with making content for little kids, and I don't understand why people get so offended by that statement. But I'll end the video right here. I think I said enough for today. Maybe I'll make an entire video about this subject one of these times. But yeah, just to finish off here, I don't hate any of the people that I've covered in these What Happened To videos. I really don't. To the bottom of my heart, I don't care. I don't care. You can make whatever kind of content you want. And if it does well, good for you. If it doesn't, well, that's your own fault as well. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching.